G'day there guys, it's your main man Markee and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice. Now if you love today's bloody good content, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn on the barbie and enjoy today's bloody good content. Thank you. Posted by user Mr. Rockwood. Titled, Am I the a-hole for screaming at my best friend's boyfriend? This happened today. Still catching flack. My partner and I have this friend Lisa. We met at a ballroom and she's good people. She met this guy, we'll call him Ted, last year, a few months before the pandemic, and hit it off. I remember being really happy for her because she was pretty lonely and had been looking to date for a while. She seemed really happy with him and he seemed pretty nice, or so I thought. Small bit of context, they decided to get 2 puppies. I forget the other breed, but the one about this story is a mini Aussie/English mix named Belle. Anyway, I get a phone call today at around 4-ish from her, and she's in tears. She starts telling me about how Ted is taking Belle to the pound. She goes on about how they're having a fight about the puppies, and how active they are, and how stressful it is to take care of them. Apparently, it's causing him too much anxiety, so he's going to get rid of his puppy. Lisa isn't having any of it and offers to buy her from him. He says no and they get into a huge fight. Lisa starts begging me to take her while they figure this out. My ass is already in the car and en route. I arrive and she's outside with the puppy, her face red from crying, sitting on the curb. She gives me a hug and starts crying again, all the while holding the clearly excited to be outside Belle. Ted comes walking outside, sees us and goes, "Yeah, please take her. I'm done. She's all yours." Now, here is where I might be the a-hole. Up until this point, I was mad, disgusted, and pretty salty someone would do this to a puppy. Up until this point, I was committed to just taking Belle, and if it turned out she'd be part of the family, then I'll be at PetSmart looking for doggy beds. The moment this skinny Seattleite-looking man-child said that, I blew an internal mental gasket. I parted from Lisa, walked over to Ted, and just started yelling. I'm an inch from his face, explaining like a Navy RDC how much of a piece of crap he is for doing this to a puppy. This puppy fell in love with you and isn't going to know what happened or why when I take her. She isn't some toy to use and then discard when she gets hard to handle, blah 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 about commitment and being an adult, blah something about maturity. Yeah, you guys can fill in the rest. Ted goes from annoyed about owning a puppy to I'm being yelled at by my dad looking at the ground. I'm standing over him looking like a Viking at 6'4" tall and weighing in at 230 pounds. I'll admit, he was probably really scared. Anyways, I yelled until my Navy wit ran out of gas, turned around to take Belle home, and told Lisa to call me. Ted and Lisa are now fighting about that she called me and I went over there and did what I did. Lisa says I could have not done the yelling and my partner agrees with her, but I don't know. Am I the a-hole here? Edit? Welp, Ted is now single. Edit 1, just woke up and need to catch up, wait 1. Edit 2, Belle is 5 months old now, I believe. I still need to take her to the vet. Edit 3, definitely not bragging about my height and weight. Just telling an unbiased story of what happened. I'm aware I'm probably scary, though my lady certainly isn't. Edit 5, they live together, so him selling Belle to Lisa didn't solve his problem, she'd still be around causing him anxiety. Edit 6, current plan is that I'm going to hold on to Belle until she can get into her new place, probably by the end of the month. Lisa still has every intention of taking her though. Forewarning, coming in hot with a spicy Markee take on this one. I'm gonna go for you're the a-hole here, OP. Feels like you've warped this story to paint Lisa in the best light and her partner in the absolute worst light, when we all know life is grey and absolutely not black and white. Isn't Reddit always going on about responsible pet ownership, positive relationships, and the best way to avoid a bad situation and get yourself into a net positive situation? I think the boyfriend realizing the pet was too much to handle shows maturity and empathy for both himself and the dog, albeit the situation ended in a fight and the end of his relationship with the girlfriend. We all make mistakes in this life, but at least in this situation, he addressed the problem of looking after a dog he's aware he can't handle. Obviously, that is a topic that those two can't agree on. Neither he nor the dog want to be stuck in a lifetime together, both none the better for it. And I can understand why this sets you off, but you're approaching this dispute from a heavily biased perspective, and you took full liberty here to jerk yourself off to your sweaty, self-aggrandizing image. I don't remember asking for that, OP. You've not given me enough ammo here to justify in any capacity your incoherent rambling rage that you set off on the boyfriend, and I imagine if anything, you made their problems worse. I would seriously suggest getting some help for all that pent-up rage, because it's not helping anyone. You're the a-hole, OP. I see the only logical way for this to work out is that the two break up and Lisa takes the dog. The boyfriend obviously does suck for not letting Lisa take the dog. I don't understand why that became such a sticking point in their relationship, and I agree that he sucks for that one. But it's obvious that these two aren't compatible, and the dog made that very apparent. So I'm sticking with you're the a-hole, leaning into the everyone sucks here judgment. In the comments, Engineering Own 2299 says, everyone sucks here, except Lisa and the dogs. He sucks for not wanting to keep the puppy anymore, but it is much better for him to realize he's not fit to own a puppy and wanting to give it up, because him keeping it would not have been good for the dog. But he was being a dick for not letting Lisa take it since she offered. You suck for using your size to intimidate people and screaming unnecessarily in their faces. You could have just taken the puppy and left. That should happen before he agreed to get a puppy. Yes, he screwed up. Yes, he could have screwed up worse too, and that doesn't excuse it. I don't disagree, but some people don't understand they aren't capable of something until they do it. 100% agree. My parents did a trial run with a 2-year-old dog. A very sweet, well-behaved dog, but lots of energy. They never owned a dog, only cats. I think my mom was expecting him to just behave and lay around until they walked him twice a day. Day 1 did well. By day 2, he was bored and started chewing and getting into things. My dad was more active with the dog, but he still goes to work and Mum works from home, so she didn't have time to entertain him. Eventually, he started chasing the cats because that's entertainment. Didn't do this in foster, so I'm pretty sure he was bored. My parents gave him up after 5 days. They did all the research and bought supplies, but once it came down to it, they realized they didn't have enough dog knowledge to keep him entertained and didn't have the time for this breed. Some people think they can handle it until they're in the situation. I'm going to make an unpopular declaration. You're the a-hole for a few reasons. 1, realizing early that you're actually not cut out for dog ownership, that it is more stressful than you realized or whatever. It actually is the more responsible thing to get the dog rehomed. The person shouldn't have to be miserable for 10 to 15 years for miscalculating what they could handle, and the dog deserves a home where the owner loves it as much as it loves them. The puppy will be fine after getting a new owner and will be much happier in the long run. It is best for all involved. Yeah, ideally someone who isn't cut out to own a dog wouldn't get a dog in the first place, but sometimes well-meaning people can miscalculate what they're capable of, even after doing the research. It happens. People in here seem to be acting as if not realizing you're not able to take care of a dog is some sort of moral failing. But how exactly is one supposed to know that before they experience it? The second reason you're the a-hole is that there is almost never a reason to get up in somebody's face and start aggressively yelling and intimidating them. What exactly did you accomplish by doing this? Nothing changed. Unless you're exaggerating your behavior to come across as a Reddit cool, the behavior you describe makes you sound like a loon. Look into anger management. The comments saying that he should have known he couldn't look after a dog prior to getting the dog are hurting my brain. You can't know you can't do something before you attempt it for the first time. That's not how anything works. Right? Plus, you can do everything right and still not be able to handle it. I have a friend that prepared months for her puppy before she got it, researched and everything. When she finally got her puppy, her anxiety went through the roof and she was having panic attacks about not being a good pet mom. She's not an a-hole for her anxiety. Unfortunately, there's some people out there who value dogs over human life. Dogs are nothing special. They're just an animal like any other. Nobody is obliged to keep an animal they don't want. For some reason, people see dog and lose any common sense and reasoning. Also, OP was literally jerking himself off while centering himself as the hero of this story, when in reality, he's the a-hole, and so is his best friend who threw a tantrum because she didn't get to keep the dog and decided to call OP to intimidate another person. Posted by user, someone deleted their account lol. Titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my boyfriend's co-worker that we're not married? I've been with my boyfriend for about 5 years. We live together. He does not want to get married, which I'm fine with now, but it was a point of contention early on in our relationship. Boyfriend was talking to co-worker on Zoom when I brought him some coffee. Co-worker said something like, "So this is the lovely life I've heard so much about." I said something like, "Thanks, but we're not married." He said, "Oh, boyfriend always calls you his wife," and then introduced himself. I introduced myself, then ended the conversation and left as quickly as I could, while still being polite because both boyfriend and co-worker were giving me a weird vibe. A little while later, boyfriend came out of the office and asked, "What was that?" I didn't know what he meant, so I asked, "What was what?" Boyfriend then said that there was absolutely no need for me to correct co-worker, and that it's better if people think I'm his wife. I said I'm not his wife, I'm his girlfriend, and he never told me that he told other people that I'm his wife. This somehow becomes an argument, with my side being that boyfriend never told me that his co-workers think we're married, and boyfriend's side being that I should have figured that being called his wife indicated that co-worker thought I was his wife, and I shouldn't have corrected him. And when I said I thought he'd just made an assumption, boyfriend said that wasn't the point. The point was that there was no need to correct him, that it was rude, and that it makes boyfriend look like a D-bag. He then said that the solution to this is that when he next has a video call with co-worker, he wants me to come in again, strike up a conversation, and say that I was messing with him, and that boyfriend is actually husband, and us not being married is an inside joke that I thought the co-worker was in on. I then said that was the dumbest effing plan he'd ever come up with, and no effing way am I doing that. And he said that I was being an a-hole, that I got him into this, and now I have to bail him out. Am I the a-hole? I don't understand why he would want you to be referred to as his wife and not girlfriend. That seems like something that shouldn't ever be an issue, and I've never heard of something like this in my life before now. Isn't it weird that he's so insistent that she fixed this quote-unquote mistake and justify her actions to a co-worker? What in gaslighting tarnation is going on here? Not the a-hole for sure, OP. What universe exactly are you an a-hole in for doing this? I love gifs of Jif says, not the a-hole. That is so shady, and it feels like there's a lot more going on. If you're not married, he doesn't get the perks, and that includes calling you his wife. I wonder if he's lying to take advantage of this discriminatory information that shows that married men make more money than single ones. Edit, not an endorsement, hence the discriminatory comment. And that discriminatory information is by the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis that says, "For love or money, why married men make more." If you want to find it, just Google that statement. Yeah, I'm also wondering about FMLA, promotions, looking good to upper management, etc. Why not just get married then? Edit, I'm getting a lot of reasons why they aren't married, and honestly, that's not what I meant. I meant if he's faking it for his job, clearly, and is going as far to try to pressure OP to lie, stupidly too, then why is he so against getting married? He might as well at this point. Because right now there is no strings attached. He can act like he has a wife without any consequences of actually being married, like having to split finances when OP decides she's finally done with him. Hell no, not the a-hole. Why is he calling you his wife and he doesn't marry you? That seems kinda stupid. Having a wife is a leg up in a lot of professional contexts. It gives the impression you're dependable, settled, a family man, more than if you were just casually dating around. OP's boyfriend wants the societal benefit of marriage among his co-workers without the commitment. P.S. OP, do not marry this schmuck. This is a real thing for men in the corporate world. The company I used to work for, a guy when he was hired had on a ring, and would talk about his wife and kids, and seem like a real family man. The head honchos loved him, and it wasn't until a few years at being with the company, someone found out he'd made it all up to advance himself in the job because his bosses and leaders were all family-minded. I don't know how they found out, but he left not long after it spread around the company like wildfire. I don't necessarily think it would have been that big a deal if he hadn't spun all these elaborate stories about weekends with his wife and trips that he would take with his family when he took vacation time. He was in deep. Not the a-hole. That would be the stupidest inside joke in history. If your boyfriend, husband, is adamant in calling you his wife, why doesn't he propose, lol? Considering your long history too. Exactly what I said. I can't imagine getting on the thing with coworker and being like, yeah, I jokingly act like we're not married, and acting like that's just a normal thing to do. She could do it, but do it in a robotic, terrified voice, or read it off index cards like she's making a hostage video. Hold up a copy of that day's newspaper, etc. That would serve him right. Hold up, guys. Haha, we have the answers to this one because OP updated this post, saying, Update. We talked, he's effing a female coworker. Apparently, I can't leave my wife for you sounds better than I can't leave my girlfriend for you. So now he's going to have to tell people we've divorced. And everyone lived happily ever after, right? Posted by user UnstablePotato123. Titled, Am I the a-hole for uninviting my grandma to my wedding? So I'm getting married, and when I was on a call with my grandmother, who's 75, she was super excited to come, and I was excited to have her there. I'm her oldest grandchild, so we have a special relationship. But a few days ago, she learned that my sister, my maid of honor, is gay, and I invited her girlfriend. She was furious about the gay thing, and told me that either I uninvite the girlfriend or she doesn't come, and I immediately said that if this is the way she thinks, I don't want her there. Now my whole family is telling me to just uninvite the girlfriend and re-invite my grandma. Sounds bad, but I, my fiancé, my sister, and her girlfriend live in one apartment now. They lost an apartment for 2020 reasons, and the girlfriend has basically been my roommate for 6 months now. I'm very close to her, closer than my granny actually, and I really want her there. My family's opinion is that I am the a-hole. Edit, I'm Eastern European, and homophobia is still very present here. That's why the family is okay with granny's behavior, even though they love my sister and tolerate her girlfriends. It's all around them. And edit 2, I was never considering uninviting the girlfriend. The question is, am I the a-hole for uninviting grandma rather than letting her make the decision? OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the a-hole. I might be the a-hole because I choose someone unrelated over a relative to come to my wedding. At the end of the day, it's your wedding, and no one gets to decide who comes and doesn't come to your wedding. If she insisted that you uninvite this one person based purely on sexual orientation alone, or else she's boycotting the event, then zippity-doo-dah, zippity-day, Grandma's not coming to this wedding today. Also, very questionable enabling by the rest of the family there, defending the grandmother, oh my god. Not the a-hole, OP. Not the a-hole. Doing the right thing isn't always popular. Even if you hadn't been living together, disinviting the girlfriend because of bigotry wouldn't be morally right. Have a wonderful wedding. Edit to say many thanks for the awards and upvotes. I had a similar sitch when my brother came out, so this post struck a nerve. If you're gay, there's more of us who have your back than those who don't. Yes, I was going to say the same thing. It doesn't matter if the girlfriend is a total stranger to you, stick with your principles. You will probably feel better deep down in your soul, knowing you did what was right rather than feeling false on the day. Seconding this one, it's not about the girlfriend, it's about standing up for your sister. If this is the way she treats her granddaughter, then her place is at home when you're getting married. You can give in to the prejudice or stand up against it. If OP gives in, then she can't consider herself an ally to queer people or her sister. I'm queer, and if my sister excluded my same-sex partner, I would feel betrayed in the most cruel and painful way. A sisterly bond is sacred, and it trumps grandparents. OP might offend her family's feelings, but to exclude her sister's girlfriend would be to reject who her sister is. It says, you're not normal, and you can't participate fully. OP knows what to do, it's just a question of dealing with the family fallout. I suggest a united front with all the housemates, with everyone reminding OP to have fun and celebrate despite family prejudices making things difficult. And OP replies, I would never even consider not inviting the girlfriend. The question was never, girlfriend or grandma to me. It was always, do I try to convince Granny or just let her stay home? There's still 4 months until the wedding, so maybe Grandma will come to her senses. Interestingly, Grandpa, her husband, is the only adult member of my father's side of the family who thinks Grandma overreacted by giving me an ultimatum though. Just thought I'd mention how cool my grandfather is. Not the a-hole. Your wedding. Invite whoever you want. They are all the a-hole for dictating who you should invite. That being said, I just invite both, then if the grandma doesn't come, then it's on her and not you. And OP replies, yeah, that's the a-hole part for me. I just really don't want my granny there now. I love her, but I don't want the drama that she would cause even if she came. Just say, if your hate for a stranger overrides your love for me, then it's better that you not come. And Awesome Possum says, not the a-hole. Your grandma said her or sister's girlfriend and you chose. She shouldn't have given you an ultimatum for your own wedding. It is your wedding, and it's up to you to decide who is there. Grandma is the a-hole not only for being homophobic, but for trying to back you into a corner and use you loving her against you to push her beliefs onto you and your wedding. Sucks to suck, Grandma. Yeah, she thought the ultimatum was gonna do something, and it backfired on her. Indeed. Really, Granny uninvited herself. If she wants to re-invite herself, she knows what she needs to do. And oh look, an update. As many of you suggested, I told my sister and her girlfriend. My sister was mad that I didn't tell her sooner, but we ended up agreeing that Grandma, and one more relative actually, are not invited and no way back. Turned out Granny, and especially the other relative, were bullying them on Facebook and other social media, but mostly Facebook, and were outing them online. Apparently both have been messaging my sister to verbally abuse her since she came out, and she didn't want to tell me for the same reason I didn't tell her about the wedding stuff. So I'm no longer questioning who the a-hole is here. So I ask the mods to stop the comments, because my dumb ass has no idea how to do that. Thank you to everyone who believes my granny can change, and I will keep trying with her after the wedding. G'day there guys, and that's the end of today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed it and were entertained by today's bloody good content. As always, I want to do a quick shout out and a thank you to all my channel members and Patreon subscribers. Your beautiful faces and names will be up on screen right now. Haven't forgot about you guys, sorry I was taking a little break there. So yeah, if you see yourself, give yourself a pat on the back. If you want to be on this screen, there's links down to the description below where you can sign up and help support the channel and all future projects that I'm going to be doing on this one. With all that said, I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, sleep, whatever you're up to. I'll see you in the next episode, and I do hope you enjoy it. Thank you.